During times of panic, when USDC is depegging, when everybody gets emotional, everybody wants to get out, that's when money is made. That's when the opportunity arises. And these kinds of opportunities, they can stay open for quite a while. They are still open up to this day. You can still make money from the USDC collapse, even though we have seen quite a bit of a recovery of the stablecoin. Now let's look at this, right? Let's look at two ways to make money from this. One of them being harder, the other one being way easier. The hard way is to try to assess the risk when something like this happens. So when you see a Depeg like this, how much is justified? And when you followed crypto Twitter very closely during the time, you figured out that 6 to 8% of Circle's reserves were locked up in Silicon Valley Bank that went bust, 6 to 8%, but we saw a depegging of almost 12%. So there was a way you could trade this, right? You could buy low because the backing of the USDC stablecoin was higher than the price per token. That's the hard way, right? You simply follow the news and you try to catch the knife. It's still possible if you've got the right information sources. For example, our Telegram group, right? Link is down below. This is when I posted. Things are recovering. We probably have seen the bottom, right? This was at 91.7 cents for USDC. And this is then also what happened, of course. So this is the hard way. The easier way, though, is to short, to bet on falling prices, what people are fleeing into, the thing that gets overpriced. And the thing that got overpriced during the time was Tether. Tether went to $1.03, which is not logical at all, right? There is maximum $1 backing per Tether. There should never be more than that, right? Everything that's beyond $1 per Tether is profit for the company. It's rather the opposite, right? It's rather maybe they don't have enough holdings. Maybe we have to discount Tether, similar to how we are now discounting USDC. So having Tether more than $1 is an opportunity of overpricing. You bet on falling prices. You have to borrow the Tether in order to then pay it back when it's back at $1. And it's currently not yet at $1. To date, if you go to 1 inch and you take, say, 5,000 Tether and you swap it to USDC, you get free profit of more than 1% of $64 over here. This is to date. You've got a bit of gas fee, right? $1 of gas fee, but still, right? $1% pure profit. Now you might not have 5,000 Tether laying around and you can't directly lock this in. How can you still profit from this? You do financial engineering, so to speak. You use DeFi apps. You borrow your Tether. You have to pay a bit of money. You have to pay 30% APY. So the time is ticking, so to speak. You're betting on this recovery to happen relatively quickly, maybe in a month or two, to make this worthwhile. But I think this is a relatively reasonable thing to assume, right? That Tether will go down in 1 or 2 months to its peg. So you want to be borrowing the Tether, you want to be swapping it to something that you like. If it's USDC, take USDC, might be something else, whatever it is. We only know for certain that Tether is overvalued. We don't necessarily know for certain that USDC is undervalued. So swap it to whatever you like. This could be Bitcoin. Then of course you're subject to the Bitcoin risk. But Tether is overpriced. So you borrow the Tether, you pay a little bit of APY, and you swap it against something you like, and then whatever you like, you also deposit back on your borrowing and lending platform, right? So that you don't get stopped out in any way. So this is how you make money from this. You simply look at stablecoins and check them whenever they are above $1. When stablecoins are below $1, that is potentially risky because there is risk and we have to assess the risk to a degree and have to figure out, is the current price fair? And if you don't make this right, then for example, with the UST collapse during Luna, you might lose your money. But whenever a stablecoin is above $1, you can be pretty sure that it should never be above $1. So you can pretty much always short it. You can always borrow it and then sell it against something that you like and make the difference once the repegging occurs. This is where the opportunity lies. This is where a lot of people don't really notice the opportunity in the moment, but that's why having a great community is so important. That's why joining our Telegram makes a lot of sense. That's why maybe even joining Premium, if you really have a lot of capital to deploy, joining Premium might make sense. We discuss these things, right? We discuss whenever there's turmoil in the market, how can we keep a cool head? How can we make money from relatively certain bets? And that's one of them, right? You short Tether when it's overpriced, you short any stablecoin whenever it's above $1. And whenever a stablecoin is below $1, you want to be buying only when you're certain that the risk is assessed correctly. So feel free to join us. Looking forward to see you in Telegram, and looking forward, of course, to see you also in the next video as well. Bye-bye.